This conference will now be recorded.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Board of Commissioner meeting for Lake Stevens Sewer District. It is, we're going to call it Thursday, March 9th, 2023. It is 9 a.m. in the morning. Um, and March 23rd. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry about that, folks. 2023. But this morning we've got myself, Commissioner Lorenzen, Commissioner Wright, Commissioner Koshi will not be joining us this morning with the staff, but we'll get started by doing the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, well, thank you for indulging me this morning. I didn't take the wrong copy of something. But we'll go ahead. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So again, Commissioner Koshi will not be joining us this morning, but as we start to move through our agenda real quick, we're going to open up the public forum. This is an opportunity for anybody in the audience, virtually, to address the Board of Commissioners. It does not have to be anything in regards to what today's agenda is, but if they have comments, concerns, or questions, we obviously will do that. So we'll open that up. But first I will ask, did we get any correspondence in the mail, email?
Not prior to the meeting.
Not right in the meeting. Okay, so we'll look to the floor. Is there anybody on the floor that would like to address? Awesome. So all we need you to do is just state your name. And then
I'm Kim Cross. I'm a property chair for Ebenezer Lutheran Church here in Lake Stevens. And first off, I want to start off with just a little bit of history. We put in a commercial kitchen in the church 15, 20 years ago. And the reason we did that is because we're serving free meals to the public. And commercial kitchen is a cleanliness item really for food safety. Thought it was the right thing to do. So when we did that, we had a representative of the Lake Stevens Sewer District tell us that we had to install a 500-gallon minimum size grease trap in the building. In order to do that, it would require us to break up the floor the building was built on. It's built on a slab, and replumb, because of course you don't want sewage running through a grease trap. The building has 5 restrooms, 4 of which are multiple stalls, which is, you don't want that going through a grease trap. 3 times I went back to the sewer district, 3 times I got that same answer. That's a minimum size grease trap we could use. So we chose to ignore it, because we'd have to rebuild our building to do that. Impossible. So fast forward to more modern times. This was back in the Jim Mitchell era. So back to modern times, now we're told, okay, we're going to charge you money for fat, oil, and grease dropped in the sewage system based on your water usage. We serve 2 hours a day for takeout meals. We're not washing plates, cups, silverware, nothing. The water is running through the restrooms, but you're charging us the same rate that you charge a restaurant that was using that same amount of water, just serving all the time. Not our model. That doesn't work for a small operation like ours. So eventually, we put in a grease trap under the sink. I finally got permission to put in a small 25-pound grease trap, which is more appropriate to the facility, because that'll fit under the sink. We don't have to add on to the building house. So I put that in. In the last 5 months, we have a total of 36 ounces of material removed from that grease trap. 5 months. I would speculate that's way less than the average household. We don't have a grease fry machine of any kind. We serve food that's basically boiled. Grease goes in a coffee can that goes in the dumpster. So I applied for a variance because you're now charging me $350 for an inspector to come verify that there's nothing in the grease trap. He agrees. I'm told you lost the variance. Now Melanie found it, and I don't know if it's Melanie or if it was you, but doesn't matter. Somebody found it, and so I filled it out and signed it. But I just wanted to show our experience with the Lake Stevens School Sewer District. This doesn't work for a small operator like a church, so there should be some different approach. I don't know what that approach is, but it doesn't seem like what we have is working nor is reasonable. And I do know that there are several churches in Lake Stevens that do not have commercial kitchen licenses for this very reason. Elam being one of them. I'm not sure who the others are. Anyway, that's about all I have to say. Not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but it just seems like the experience hasn't been what it ought to be. You guys are very professional, friendly, all good, but the policy didn't work.
No, we appreciate hearing from folks. I know that, you know, as things change, because we're regulated sometimes with the health district and some of those, if you're doing a commercial kitchen, we try to capture some of those things. The best way, I think, that it seems like you're going through the processes for the variance, because obviously as a variance, it can deviate from that in the Board of Commissioners and make a decision based on that, because obviously that's what we're going to look at. So I know that will come in front of us.
So I have the variance. I've had it now for about 5 minutes.
Right.
Since I've been sitting here.
It'll be included eventually into our packet from the staff, and they'll do a report for that. Sorry that it got misplaced somehow somewhere in some time, but you know, now that we do know that there was a variance there, it will be addressed in the future coming up at our board meeting. So it gives staff the time to take a look at some of the things. But it is common at times that people will apply for variances that come, because unfortunately, when we make policies, we try to capture everything, but there's always going to be something that might just fall outside of that. And so we do here, because we do know that Ebenezer has been part of the community for a long time. I know they used to have a lot of community suppers every Thursday, because I used to participate and come and serve, but I know that a lot of it's just been taken out for you guys now. So, but we appreciate hearing from you, and definitely it will come before us. And if you have any further questions beyond that, you can always reach out to us. We're always available. And I know staff is too.
No, my goal here is just for you guys to understand the experience and maybe think about that, because I know you're going to have to make further decisions on everything.
No, absolutely. And I know it goes a long ways from Commissioner Mitchell when he was part of the board. I mean, know him for very well, the family a long time before he passed. So yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
No problem.
Thank you.
Anybody on the virtual wall have anything? I don't know if anybody's up there, and nothing's lighting up. I don't see any like hands being raised, like somebody wants to speak. So with that being said, I guess at this opportunity, if nobody else wants to talk to the board, we'll go ahead and close the public forum aspect of this and move on. We shall do that. Okay, well, this morning in front of us, we've got an agenda. Don't know if there was any comments, concerns, changes from staff, if they're last minute things. Nothing there. How about Commissioner?
No.
With that, we could entertain a motion.
Making motion to approve the agenda for March 23rd, 2023.
Perfect, and I would second that. With that being said, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're going to move down to number 5. If you're following us on this agenda this morning, we are at item number 5. It is a consent agenda, which means that these have been reviewed by the Board of Commissioners previously. And so it's more of a housekeeping that we just go through these real quick rather than individually. So with that being said, I'd look to Commissioner Wright if there is a motion on the floor.
Making motion to approve consent items A through I.
And I would second that. I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Let's move on down to number 6. There is one item. This is old business if you are following. The only thing on there is an approval from general manager to execute a contract. So I will look to
That'd be me. So the commissioners 2 board meetings ago awarded the Lift Station 7 generator project to Legacy Power. This is the contract for that project. And the contract's been reviewed by legal, engineering, and staff and is recommended for approval. And also requesting that the general manager be given authority to execute the contract.
Perfect.
Great.
Questions, comments, concerns?
Not for me.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the general manager to execute Legacy Power Systems contract for LS7 generator replacement project.
Okay, well, there is a motion on the floor, and I would second that motion. So no further discussion. None? No more? Okay, I'll call for the vote. You're good.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that was easy enough. So we're going to move on down to item 7 on this morning's agenda, which is new business. There are 2 items. One's a resolution, and the other one's from Sherwood Community Services. But with that, I'm going to start by looking to the manager for resolution number 1047.
Resolution 1.7 modifies how we are treating petty cash funds at the district. The substantial change in this resolution is to add an additional cash drawer. We now have 4 individuals in customer service, but the previous resolution only allowed us to have 3. And for auditing and security purposes, it's best if everybody has their own, and then we know what's happening, right? So that's the substantial change in here. This resolution has been reviewed by legal and is recommended by staff.
Perfect. Okay.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 1047 relating to the petty cash funds and also repealing resolution number 1008.
Okay, there's a resolution on the floor for approval, number 1047, and rescinding 1008. I would second that. Any further discussion? With that being said, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next one up is Sherwood Community Services. I just had them come visit us in Lyons the other night, so I should understand. But it's a variance, so hey, I will look this way.
So Sherwood Community Services is requesting a variance from the annual fog fee. Right now, they're in the middle tier, so we're charged $325 a year for our inspector to come in and do best management practice inspections in their kitchen. They do not have a commercial kitchen, and they do not believe that the pretreatment program applies to their business. However, in fairness, there's other daycares and others similarly provision businesses that are under the pretreatment regulations, and according to the regulations, they're still fall under it. So I guess the district staff recommendation would be they don't prepare meals. They most of the kids bring in their own lunches and stuff. So, but they do have a kitchen in which a lunchroom. We would recommend that they install a small grease trap under the sink, like we've required other businesses or other daycares to do, and we would staff would reduce that to a one-time annual inspection, best management practice inspection, and take them down to the lower tier of $150 a year.
Okay. Questions, comments, concerns?
So you're going to approve the variance?
Our recommendation would be with those conditions, the $125 a year and the business install a small grease intercept or grease trap under the sink.
Probably similar to what Ebenezer is looking at.
Yeah.
It's what, yes.
They put a small one in, so,
Yep.
okay.
So Jonathan, would the motion language be then to approve the variance application with the conditions as you've described?
Correct, yep. Thank you, Jordan.
That's for me.
Huh?
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the Sherwood Community Services pre-treatment variance application with the conditions that it would be $125 a year with a business installation of a grease trap.
Under the sink.
Application, it's $150 a year.
150, I apologize.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to approve this variance with the conditions set forward by staff, legal, and everybody else that's weighed in. So I would second that motion, or second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Okay, we are out of new business, folks. We're going down to managers' reports. The first one up is our general manager.
All right. Flow at the plant right now, last week average was 3.66 million gallons a day. Still relatively high for us, but we're still in spring. Total inorganic nitrogen through February was 16%, so we're right on track for that permit as well. Admin staff has been working on a quarterly newsletter, which we gave you a pre-copy of, but we hope to post and then send out electronically to our customers. And that's about it.
Excellent. Questions, comments, concerns?
No.
Okay, thank you. Assistant GM.
So thus far, the district's collected 1 connection fee and has issued 34 permits. So far this month, Cummins has been out doing the annual service on our 29 generators, and has been plugging away. They've found a few repairs that were needed, and grateful to them for coming out and helping us with that. Westlake Townhomes is wrapping up the administrative portion of their project. Benji Hills is physically complete with the sewers, so all the sewers in. We're waiting for better conditions to get better compaction over the sewer, but expect them to be done relatively soon. And Dunham Heights construction is underway. They're taking a little break now to do water and storm, but otherwise on track. And that's all I got.
So with those ones on track, and they haven't obviously paid for, how many do we anticipate? Do you think that each one of those? I know that some of the builders are just pulling here and there, 1 and 2s to kind of.
I think Westlake Townhomes is 13 ERUs. Benji Hills is 34 lots, I believe.
And where's that located?
Benji Hills is off of 17th and 204. And Westlake Townhomes is off of Davies and 9th Place Southeast. And then Dunham Heights is off of 10th Southeast, close to the treatment plant.
They're getting there slowly. I mean, I know Woods Gate, I think is that what they call that one now, 103rd South Lake Stevens.
Yeah.
I mean, it used that, yeah. I mean, it looks like something's going up. I see a structure going up, so I know that they've got to be close to doing something there. So,
yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. If you have no question, okay. City report. I see the city administrator Gene up on the board. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Business as usual here, just a spring cleanup everywhere. But I did want to mention that the city's completed their draft ADA transition plan. It's on our website for review from everybody. So that's all I have today.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Are you guys, just one question, do you guys still do the spring cleaning where you have, I remember we used to do in the day where you would go to like the high school or the places and have the annual all shredded, and people could help clean their yards by removing some of the trash that they had accumulated over the years.
We do have a cleanup day, and I don't know what it is off the top of my head. But we still work with waste management to do that.
Okay, no, that's perfect. Yeah, I saw a sign driving through Snohomish. They have theirs coming up in April. I thought, I'm sure we still do it here in Lake Stevens, but always good to know. Thank you. Okay, we're moving on down to the commissioner's report. I'll look to Commissioner Wright because, well, Commissioner Koshi is not available to tell us his views on anything. So you're up.
Great. So I reviewed the quarterly newsletter and I think it looks great. My only comments were possibly promoting the Caring by Sharing program just for people in the community who want to help others and have their money stay in the community. That's such a great way to give back. We had the WASWA meeting last week, and even though a lot didn't apply to us because it was more about water and PFAS and all of that, it was still really interesting to hear about the legislation and what they're trying to do to, promote the effort that affects all of us. And I thought it was really helpful. That's all I have.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I attended the section 3. The only thing that I know at the state level, we're looking at some things, and obviously we know within the industry, we're losing a lot of folks that are getting ready to retire, and we don't seem to have those coming through the door. So as one of the board members in our membership committee, and then our workforce and things like that, we're looking at tackling. We have 3 schools within Snohomish County, obviously one being in Lake Stevens, and I think, well, we have more than 3, but I mean, as far as area that I'm gonna try to reach out to counselors and try to have them get information in regards to that's one of the issues we're trying to do is get information out there for students who are getting ready to graduate who don't necessarily want to go to a university or a college but want to go into a trade. This is a great opportunity to try to attract some of those. So I think I would probably coordinate because I know sometimes when those kids get to that age and want to start looking, they may want to have a tour, and I think we're probably the only game in town on this side at least. So maybe there'd be some coordination that a council might reach out. But yeah, that's, because we know it's a big thing trying to get future workers into the door. So other than that, thank you to staff for such a great work and keeping things moving forward. It's really, really appreciated because that way we don't worry about a whole lot. So other than, a couple things here and there, but thank you. So with that, I know we're going to have an executive session, so that's item number 11. There wouldn't be any decision to follow. It is generally in line with potential litigation or litigation that we would be going. I'm going to say, I won't even guesstimate how much time we need. Let's go ahead and start. We'll say we're going to go to 9:45. That gives an opportunity. There would not be any decisions to follow, obviously, after we come out of executive session. But I would look to our counsel up on the wall, Ms. Jordan Stevens, to give the preamble to make sure that we're within the RCW because, if I was left to my own, it would probably not come out properly. So it is yours, Ms. Stevens.
Thank you. The Lake Stevens Sewer District Commission will now move into executive session pursuant to RCW 4230-110 subsection 1 subsection I to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to pending litigation to which the agency is or is likely to become a party. The executive session will conclude at 9:45, and at the conclusion of the executive session, the commission will adjourn the board meeting with no related announcements or action taken.
This conference will now be recorded.
Well, the Board of Commissioners are just coming out into regular session real quick, but we are doing that just to extend until 10 a.m. There would still be no decision to follow, but we did want to give notice that we are extending till 10 a.m. Thank you.
This conference will now be recorded.
I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Thanks, Kenan.
Bye now.
Thank you, everybody. We are now back in regular session, and as we said previously, there would be no decision to follow, and of course there is not, other than the only thing we have left on the agenda is to adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Which there is now a motion on the floor and a second following it, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody, for the hard work, and have a wonderful morning.